Belle the Black Widow was a serial killer. Shocking. And she killed all of her boyfriends. That was her jam. Give it up for that. Okay. So yeah, so she killed 49 men in her time. Right. Pretty good at her job. Yeah, if you Wikipedia her, it's fascinating. Like, that in itself is a poem, so it's hard to find one moment to really explore. But what I thought was super fascinating about her was she had all these men, so she would take out classified ads and basically say, like, come to my house, I want to love you, but come with cash, and I'm also going to kill you. They didn't know that part, but they were like really like, her ads would be like, what was one of them? It was like, my heart yearns for you, come and plan to stay forever. Like, all right. So she would take out these ads, right? That's how they came to her. But she had this handyman in her house, Ralph, and he maybe didn't know exactly what was going down, or did, who knows, but he loved her this entire time. And he helped her fake her own death. So they set her house on fire, faked her own death, and later went to trial for her murders. So she was, for her murders. So I kind of wanted to explore that story between them, because I thought that was fascinating. So this is kind of a letter from Belle to Ralph after the death has been faked, but yeah, cool. Rat bastard. All right. Love. When they find the headless bones buried in the backyard, convince themselves of the impossible, that I have wasted into this corpse much smaller than I was in life, they will know that I was a collector of hearts. Will find all 49 love letters pressed in the bottom of the soil, 1,500 teeth whose smiles I memorized in the contours of mine. Love, know this. I do not wish for our home to be filled with their screams. I was a good woman. I baked them the finest cakes. I sugared their tea with a tasteless death. Each one went silent and unnoticed. But this burn remains an unquenchable fire that billows in me, turned my body to nothing but smoke, and I can still feel that moment that I became this bloodless thing. The day that loose-jawed man kicked my pregnant stomach and the life tumbled out of me. How could I not want to choke it out of them? To pay back the debt to this pool of blood that was once my first child. Know this. When I say love, when I call you by its name, it is not the same kind that I once beckoned from their bones. Know this. Like all women who burn, I will be remembered only as a witch. A monster made solely of spite, a vengeful lover whose only comfort was to knife it out of them. They will say I lured them into their own graves with the promise of my romance, but isn't love always its own tiny kind of death? How we know its pain and hurtle our bodies towards it anyway, this terribly perishable thing. Every time it blues and stiffens, every time we beg to unclaim ourselves from its want, to rip out all its fingernails. Have I lost you, love? I said, this was the rage that once haunted me. I said, this is how they will keep me burning, the ash they will edge into my tombstone. Promise me, you will pull this legacy from their throat every time they call me awful woman. Your heart was never meant for the backyard. And love, promise me that ours will keep on beating.
Yay.